Welcome, all you plus 2 comedy modifiers, back to the stream. Welcome back to Clue Escape The Illusionist Club. TV's Noah here, big old water in hand with a Farfetch sticker. Yay. It is day 36 of 75 hard, and it is also day 3 of attempting to solve Clue Escape The Illusionist Club. So last time on the stream, we were making our way through this theater that the famous illusionist Sable has vanished from. In this, we have found a very oddly knocked over popcorn machine, which lays right here on the board. We found that there's this weird disconnected cable that seems to be unplugged. And we also found this weird light pattern that was being displayed on the ground. We realized that if we take our newly unlocked mirror piece, we were able to put it up against that design and got the code 308. 308 gave us a solve that we have not read because I had to pee last stream. Solved, Mirror Bright. It is hard to say what you're seeing, but as you turn the small mirror in to reflect the light coming through the curtains, it's revealed an outline of a door against the back wall of the stage. You don't have a lot of options, so you move closer to see if you can open it. You almost trip over a thick rope that looks like it was cut on purpose. Take cards 290 and place card 265. So we're going to get rid of this card. So we need a 290, blam, and 265 is a placement. 265, blam. We'll start by, I'm going to guess we're going to read. No, 290 is a clue. This is the severed backstage rope. Put that over here. And we need to now place this card right where I have my unplugged plug-in. So we're just going to slide this in right there. So now I guess we've noticed there is a little bit of a door here. I'm going to be honest. I don't think anything's different about what I'm placing other than the number, because it now says 291. So the idea is that one of our character pieces, we'll say it's Chef White's turn, moves there, engage card 291. Blam. As you approach the door that magically appeared, you notice that while the purple smoke from Sable's trick had almost cleared out, or mostly cleared out, the air is still filled with a distinctive haze. In fact, it appears to be coming from somewhere below the stage. The only way to learn more is to dig into the club's hidden secrets and try to find Sable. You pass through the door and find yourself in the dressing room. Next player, take card 292 and place board C. So we're going to have to place a board. I feel like I'm going to run out of space soon. So let me grab board C. Alright, so this comes from the box. This is board C. Ooh, DOS dressing room. Alright, player cards, I think you guys have worn out your welcome. You guys are going to live up here. Here, I'll let Chef White kind of peek her head in. And we'll slide everything up. No. And through this door, we now have the dressing room. There we go. We'll move the player cards back here, just to have them. And we'll say Miss Scarlet goes next. Or wait, I'm sorry, the next player takes card 292. So let's grab that before we forget. Card 292. Bam! Sable's dressing room, while not messy, certainly isn't well organized. As expected, the room is also filled with smoke. One glance at the door vents, as well as a trap door that's been partially covered up, is enough to prove that the smoke is coming from below the theater. But how do you get there? And if there is a fire, where is Sable? And if there is a fire, where is Sable? I don't think those thoughts are connected. Something about this is wrong. So wrong that foul play must be afoot. It's time to find Sable and discover who's to blame for all of this. Take card 293. We're just taking a whole bunch of cards here. Boom! Card 293. Can you solve who sabotaged Adriel Sable's trick? Where is Sable now? And what item was intentionally used to sabotage the trick? Keep this card on the table for the rest of the game. Okay, so I don't know who's to blame, but it seems to me, if I had to guess, if you look at this card, you see that little silver right here? That, I think, is a trapdoor. I think that is where Sable is supposed to appear from. I think the fact that a popcorn cart is on top of the door means that she can't manually open it. On top of that, I think it was supposed to mechanically open, but it can't because it was unplugged. That is my theory. In terms of who... I'm sorry, what's the other thing? Where is Sable now? I think she's still under the stage. I think she used a trapdoor to get under the stage, and she was supposed to jump out, and there was supposed to be smoke. But I think she's still under the stage. As for who, all we really know anything about is Professor Plum, who was the first one in the theater and grabbed popcorn, which is to say that the popcorn machine was not flipped over at that time. So I don't think it's going to be Plum, but we definitely need more information about these suspects before we can figure out who sabotaged the trick. All right, so this is what we have to solve. Miss Scarlet, move to a node for me, just so I can start playing. Miss Scarlet moves to 300. I draw card number 300. As you're investigating the dressing room, you find a large box that's stuck through with 8 swords. Another classic magic trick. Plum, unable to stop himself, starts pulling out the swords, and you all hear a strange noise coming from within. He stops so everyone can move fully in to investigate it. Draw card 301. 301. So this requires 2 puzzle pieces to solve. I'm guessing it is the order in which you take things out, but we don't have enough puzzle pieces to really get into it. The swords are numbered, which is not coming through real well, and the colored lines each have a letter on them. The colored lines also seem to each end at the point of a sword. Interesting. All right. We'll put that up here for now. Next up, we got Colonel Mustard. Colonel Mustard shall move to 320. Let's see if we can get any more information out of this. 320. 320. I had a dyslexic moment for a second there. 320. One wall feature is a bookcase stuffed with oddments and trinkets. A box decorated with celestial symbols catches your eye. It also has a predominant lock with 3 buttons. There must be a code to crack it, just like there was for the sound booth door in the theater. Draw card 3, 2, 1. Blast off. 321. Wham! This is the weird celestial box. Requires one puzzle piece, one board, and one mirror needed to solve. Interesting. Okay, so I think I can see what's going on here. We're going to move our contestants here. Zoom! So there is a celestial box here on the dressing room board piece. It features a lot of symbols and some, like, purple lines. Each one of the purple lines is labeled with a letter that is too blurry for you guys to see. But they're there. And then this card has the symbols of Saturn, the moon, and a star, also A, B, and C. The question I don't understand is, why do we think the mirror needs to be used? My guess, where's my mirror piece? Here's my mirror piece. I think I need to put the mirror on the line. Like, on A. And see if that makes anything interesting. I'm not seeing anything too fascinating about that shape. Let's flip it the other way and see. Also not finding anything too interesting about that sheet. My guess, each line kind of has like teeth on it, but I don't see the purpose of them. I'm guessing you want to include the teeth, we'll say. Because that lets you see the line a little bit better. Alright, so if it's on A, and A, according to the card, is the moon, is the Saturn. There is one Saturn visible, which is right there. But there's also one in the mirror, so we'll call it a 2. That kind of makes sense to me. We do this on the B line here. The B is the moon. I see 4 moons, so we have 2, 4. We do it on the C line. The C line is the stars. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Double that to 8. So I think it's 2, 4, 8. That is my guess for this puzzle. As things fall to the floor. Usually my camera is way better at focusing. I don't know what's going on with my setup today. Yeah, so that is my official guess. We're going to go through this and see if there's a 2, 4, 8, which there is. Say solved, baby! Solved! Stars aligned. Hooray! Your trusty magic mirror comes through again. Using the code you've divined via the table, you quickly unlock, that makes more sense, the celestial box, and it opens inside. You find a single piece of notebook paper that looks like it was, looks as though it was ripped from a diary. Discard this card. Boom. Away it goes, off screen, where you will never see it again. And take card 322. So I need card 322, which is right here. Boom! Clue! The mirror walking instructions, the dressing room. Alright, this is, you guys probably can't read that, so I'll just read it for you. Check mirror gears for rust. Check smoke containers, canisters must be blue. All other colors are too flammable. Which is interesting because the smoke is constantly referred to as a purple. Trapdoor locks must be set. It looked like get. It's very curly language. Trapdoor locks must be set in correct order. Trapdoor locks. 1, disengaged. 2, disengaged. 3, engage. 4, disengaged. An important clue. We'll put this important clue here-ish. that's roughly where we found it, you know? Alright, we'll put these guys back to where they were. Where's the other... Alright, yeah, we also have this puzzle, which we need another puzzle piece for this still. So let's see if we can find it. Who's next up? Mayor Green? Check node 340. So he goes there. Hayata. Against one wall, there's a large chest of drawers, some of which are slightly ajar. It has a big stuffed rabbit perched on top. As you rummage through it, searching for clues, you find a set of instructions for a trick involving swords, along with other scraps and bits of paper. On the floor, you even find a discarded ticket for the show. Mayor Green, who actually did find this, casually mentions that he isn't surprised by the disorganization in this room. What a casual thing for him to mention. Take cards 341, 342, and 343. So we're getting a bunch of stuff here. All right. We're reaching the end of this deck pretty rapidly. Let's see. 341. Oh, it's information about Mr. Green. Or Mayor Green, should I say. Where were you before the show started? I was backstage checking on fire safety with the marshal, and we were both dismayed to see how poorly stored and protected the power cords were. I tripped over a disconnected cord that was just lying around. Okay, so this would imply, if he's not lying, because he could just be lying, but this would imply that it was already unplugged when he got there. That's a pretty obvious violation. You think Sable would have personally seen to it, since she's already having trouble getting her zoning permits in order for, well, for a new music club she's opening. She's supposed to have some star chef lined up to drive traffic. Now, we know Mayor Green, let's see, he enjoys magic while rubbing shoulders with wealthy voters to seize the opportunity. To remind Sable that she needs zoning projects, or permits, rather. Okay. All right, so we got a little bit more on Mr. Green just then. Next, card 42. It says ABC, which seems clearly related to the sword box, because it said that. Step 1, insert all swords at once. 2, your goal is to maneuver the marbles along the given paths. To do so, remove swords as the marbles pass them. When one marble is done, reinsert all swords, then move on to the next marble. What is the last sword pulled for each marble? So I'm guessing the idea is we look at the lines and we pull swords based off of the placement of the lines until we see what the last sword is. And the last sword is the number for the next card. That makes kind of sense. We'll put these clues together and we'll try to figure it out in a second. But we have to read this. Lost ticket dressing room. So there's a ticket in the dressing room. So this is supposed to be a clue. I guess the clue would be that whoever's there had a ticket. I don't know how that's going to help at all, but that's a clue. That's a clue. All right, let's see if we can solve this puzzle. So, looking at this guy, my guess is like, okay, so you're pulling out the swords as they cross a marble. So you pull 6 because A is going to cross that, and then it's crossing this sword, which on the other side is the 2. and then it rolls around, crosses, 6 is already gone, and then it crosses 3. So 3 is the last one you pull. That's the way that this is supposed to be designed. What you can easily do is look at the last part of this and see what the last sword is. Granted, there's the possibility that the sword will have already been removed, but that's like the easy way to kind of look at this. So at the end of A is a 3. The end of B appears to be a 4. No, appears to be 8, but you would pull 8 out already. Let me see. Yeah, you would have already pulled out 8. But you would have already pulled out 4 as well. I still think it's 8. Alright, I'm just doing it correctly. First you pull out 4. Then you pull out 3, because you put all the swords back. And then it comes up here. You pull out 2. You pull out 5. Or you pull out 8. You pull out 2. You pull out 5. I think 5 is the number. It would be the last one you pull out is 5. Because 4's already been removed. Yeah, I think it's 5. So I think the card is 3, 5, and then looking at C, first you remove the 3. Yeah, then the 5, then the 2, then the 4, then the 8. So I think it's 8. So it is 3. What did I say for B? No, the last one's 8. In theory. So for B, you pull out 4, then you pull out 3, and then you pull out 8. Is it both 8? I'm guessing it's 3, 8, 8. Does that make sense? I know it's really hard for you guys to see this. But that's the vibe I'm getting from this. Is it's 3, 8, 8? Is that a card? That's not a card. Alright, so we're trying to follow this pattern here. Alright, so if the marble's here at A, you pull 6 out. It rolls up to this sword. So you pull 2 out. It rolls this way, you pull 8 out. It rolls this way some more, you pull 3 out. 6 has already been removed. You roll down this way, you have to pull out 5. You have to pull out 2. Oh, wait. No, you pulled 2 out already. It has to be 3. 3 has to be the first digit. It just has to be 3. We're just going to look at the cards that are left here. All right, it could be... There's a good number of cards that are left here. So... the second digit is the B line, which is the orange. You have to start by pulling out the 4 sword. Right there. You pull out this 4 sword. Then the marble rolls this way, you have to pull out the 3 sword. The marble continues this way, it rolls up, and then crosses over the 6 sword. So you pull out the 6 sword. Rolls up, so you have to pull out this 2 sword. Rolls up some more, so you have to pull out the 5 sword. And everything else should have already been removed. So I believe the second digit is 5. That's my problem. I think it's 358, which is right here. 358. Solved. En garde. As you remove the final marble from the wooden box, the entire contraption falls apart. There's a hard crank inside of it. You look at one another, unsure whether it's a really good idea to mess with the secrets of a master magician. Then Peacock reaches in to turn it. A large kunk echoes behind you, and you all whip around to see what looks like a solid bookcase has swung open. When you get closer, you see a crumpled paper stuck under the edge of the shelf. Discard the clue pieces, which we don't need those anymore, and place card 230. Card 230 is right here. Okay, so this is going to get laid on top of this. Let's move these clue pieces here. Alright, so this is now a little bit different in that line this up nicely. There we go. The bookcase is now swung open. I'm going to move these guys out of the way. Because now we have new places to jump. We have 320, which we've already had. And is dealt with. Let's just put somebody on that. But we have 390 now. We're not going to go there. We're going to go 360, which is right here. Who's next up to play? Mr. Plum. Or Professor. The Professor Plum moves to 360. I draw 360. And it says the following. Sable's vanity is gorgeous and glittering. The sort of artifact you just know will be featured in a biopic about her someday. You sit down and gaze at the brightly lit mirror only to find a magic wand and a note describing a trick. Just for kicks, you pick it up to give it a try. So this is the note that kind of falls out as the story is continuing. I draw 361, which is right here. Kablam! To reveal secrets, simply wave the magic wand in the following sequence. An audience helps. And then that way. It's just a bunch of arrows and stuff. I don't know what to do with this. One puzzle piece needed to solve. Am I drawing something? Is that the idea? That I'm drawing? I have a piece of notebook paper or something I could use. Anything I could draw on real simply. I got a pen here. Do I not have paper anywhere? What am I doing with my life? Some old paper that I used for something else. Give up! Okay. So my guess is that I'm supposed to take a magic wand, like this one, and follow the instructions on the card, and each one will draw me a number. So my thought is, I'm going to set it up just like this. So if I go this way, this way, this way, I kind of have an upside down 3. maybe it's a mirror thing. And then following this, it goes, first you go to the right, and then up, left, then down. That's a backwards 4. And then for the final one, you go around in a circle and down. I think that's a 2. You could call that a 2. You could call it a 6. I almost want to call it a 6 because everything else seems to be reversed. Because 3, 4, 6, right? 3, 4, 6 I think makes the most sense. It could be 3, 4, 2. It could even be 3, 4, 9 if you really want to get crazy. Based on the cards that are left, I'm going to say it's 3, 4, 9. Solved magic list. That's not very good as a puzzle. Like, I'm supposed to get 9 out of that? I mean, I guess I could have gotten 9 here, just to give it the benefit of the doubt. If it was like, I make the circle and then come down. But it wants me to make the circle and go this way. So I guess, yeah, so it's reversed. It also doesn't say on this card that I should use the mirror. I think this should say it requires the mirror. But that's just me critiquing. It's a Let's Play, but it's also a critique of the puzzles. Solved like magic. Swish, flick, twirl, you wave the wand through the air, feeling both silly and thrilled. When suddenly a hidden compartment on the side of the slim cylinder pops open and a tightly rolled note falls out. Disregard the puzzle and take card 376. 376. It's a clue. It says stage direction. During the mirror walk, please remember to cut one of the ropes so I don't zip too high. What? During the mirror walk, please remember to cut one of the ropes so I don't zip too high. I'm now starting to believe, based off of this, because we have the cut rope here. So that means that this is supposed to happen. This one's probably not, but this is supposed to happen. This is part of the trick, is you cut the rope. During the mirror walk, please remember to cut one of the ropes so I don't zip too high. I think there's a chance that Sable's suspended above us and we don't see it because of all the smoke. I think that's a actual possibility. All right. We only have one card left. Let's have Miss Peacock land on 390, and we'll complete the deck. You pass through the bookshelf into the next room. There's even more smoke in there, but it's easy to see that you are in the club's famous speakeasy. And also that once again, Sable is nowhere to be found. She must be trapped somewhere. And with the smoke thickening each moment, it is clear that suffocation could be a real concern. If you don't find her soon, you'll need to find her before tragedy strikes and all your business plans go up in smoke. Add deck 3 to the bottom of your deck and place board D. That is the conclusion of deck 2. We will be back next time with deck 3, the last deck. Let's take a look here. The last and thickest of the decks. So this might be like 3 streams here, but this seems like a good place to end. Let's at least take a look at, so I don't have to remember to do it next stream. Let's take a look at what board D looks like. Board D. Board D. Ooh, the speakeasy. So this is going to be placed. I gotta move all my jams. Excuse me, peoples. That gets placed right here. So the board now looks like this. Did I enter the right way? I mean, I think so, based on making sure that the pieces look right. So this is it. This is our new board. We will start deck 3 next time on the stream. If you're having a good time, please let me know in the comments down below. I think there's something wrong with this camera that it's not autofocusing the way it used to, so I'm going to try to get that fixed by next time. But I really like doing these IRL streams where we do one of the physical puzzles. I think they're an interesting challenge for us to look at. And once we complete this, we'll finally go back to Kukelis's, or Kukelaplex, the riddle that I was trying to solve before my hiatus. But let me know what you think. Let me know what I should solve next. Leave it in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe right here to Plus 2 Comedy Gaming. Catch up on all my past live streams. And I will see you all next time in the Illusionist Club. Where's the button? There it is. Boop!